Hello, in this lab, we'll observe and analyze the dynamic flow of network traffic in an inter-VLAN routing environment. This hands-on experience will provide valuable insight into how data packets navigate between different VLANs and enhancing our understanding of network segmentation and routing principles. Let's dive in, shall we? First thing we need to do is let's configure our PCs with the appropriate IP addresses, default gateway address, and subnet mask. Okay, let's go ahead and check 10.2, 10.1, 10.3, 10.1, 20.2, 20.1, 20.3, 20.1, 20.4, 20.1. Okay, we look good. So let's go ahead and jump into our switch here. Jump into our primary switch here. Let's go ahead and pull these up too as well, just to kind of clean this up a little bit. Alright, there we go. So let's enable comp T. Let's name our switch. Switch 1. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is let's create some VLANs. We need to create VLAN 10 and 20. And you know what, real quick too, let's go ahead and designate the names for these VLANs. Let's call this guy Sales Department. And let's call this guy over here, we'll call him HR. Just so that way we know what VLANs we are creating. Okay, let's go back into the switch. Okay, so VLAN 10, we're going to name it Sales. Okay, VLAN 20, we're going to name it HR. All right, so that creates the VLANs on this switch. So now let's go ahead and configure the interfaces on this switch. So let's see here, we have interface, range. We have two interfaces, Fast Ethernet 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and make these access ports. So switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 10. All right, let's do a do show VLAN brief. Check our work. You can see here for sales, we have two interfaces now. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the other interface 3 here. Okay, so we created our VLANs. We tied our interfaces to those VLANs. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's do the same thing over here on this switch now. Let's call this switch switch 2. Interface range FA01, fast Ethernet 01 through 2. Same process, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, let's go ahead and create the VLAN's being created, but let's name the VLAN. So VLAN 20, name, HR, exit. So let's move over to check the VLAN now. So let's do a do show VLAN brief, perform our work, HR, 2 interfaces, very good, okay. So now what we need to do is we have multiple VLANs crossing one single link here. So we need to create a trunk port. Trunk port's going to allow us to have multiple VLANs to cross one physical link. We're going to logically segment this link to allow multiple VLANs to cross this link, to allow multiple flows of data or packets to cross this link. So let's go ahead and let's enable a trunk interface on interface FA030. Interface FA030. I'm going to do a switch port mode trunk. Okay. Switch port trunk allowed VLAN 20. Excellent. Okay. Let's see here though. We want to also allow VLAN 10 to cross this. So let's do this. Interface F03, switch port mode access, or switch port mode trunk. We want to allow both VLANs to cross a single link. So let's do a do show interfaces trunk. Type this morning, huh? There we go. Let's give it a second to boot up. It should recognize here. Let's give it a minute. Okay, so let's do this. Interface FA03, switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk, loud VLAN 10, 20. Let's see if that'll work this time. Do show interface trunk. Okay, so we have 20 now. You know, little temperamental this morning packet tracer is, huh? So let's do VLAN 10. Oh no, we only want VLAN 20 on the state. That's right. Okay. Let's move over here. Let's do the same thing over here. We're going to do interface FA04. Switch port mode trunk. Switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 and 20 because they both must match. And 10. in, exit to show interfaces trunk. All right. VLANs allowed on the trunk, 10 and 20. VLANs allowed in active management, 10 and 20 is good. VLANs in Spanish reporting state. Okay. Now, there we go. 10 and 20. Okay, very good. We just had to wait a minute. There we go. 10 and 20. Okay. It's a Monday, I guess. Haha. So let's move over to this switch again. Now we need to create a trunk port on this interface going out to the router. So we're going to create a trunk port on fast Ethernet 05 interface.
She was adored by everyone.
Okay, so we're good there. Fast Ethernet 05. Do show interfaces trunk. Okay, we don't have a trunk yet because our interface is down. So let's jump over to the router now. No. Enable conf t hostname R1. All right, so we're going to do a router on a stick, which means we're going to logically segment this one interface into two interfaces so that we can carry the individual VLAN traffic to the router, and the router can dictate where that traffic goes to, either VLAN 10, VLAN 20 per switch. So let's do interface G00.10 for VLAN 10. We need to tag this traffic, so we're going to tag it. We're going to encapsulate using the .1q protocol. And we're going to do an IP address of 192.168.10.1, which is the default gateway for VLAN 10 traffic. We're also going to create another interface for VLAN 20. And use its default gateway with a /24 subnet mask. And let's see here, interface G00, no shut. So we need to bring that guy online. He's green instead of red now. Good. So let's give this a minute here.
Except her cat. Until she tried Sheba, ignored to adore.
And as soon as this goes green, we should be able to ping between VLANs. So let's go ahead and test that now. We're green. Let's go ahead and verify that we can do this now. Ping. So we're going to go ahead and ping. Let's ping PC3 over here. So 192.168.20.3. All right, so it looks like it's working. So it's going to go through the switch up to the router. The router is going to read the tag that's allocated for it for VLAN 20, even though it's coming from VLAN 10, right? But its destination is VLAN 20, so it's going to read it's going to read the source address and its destination address, and then it's going to encapsulate that data from VLAN 10 to VLAN 20 traffic and then send it over to PC3. Very good. So let's go ahead and also confirm that we can ping inside of our sales department just to prevent any disruptions. So 192.168. Let's see, we call that 10.3, right? And it looks like that's successful as well. So we can also ping within. So not even using the router, we can just go into the switch here and ping within our own VLAN. And also leave, go to a default gateway, ping out to different network or sub-network, which is the 192.168.20.1. And I hope this was informative. Thank you very much, and until next time.